Okay, if you're watching this video, something may have gone wrong. There's quite a few things that can go wrong, but that's the point of programming. Your job really is to put things right, and they go wrong all the time. So don't worry if you've got things wrong. We need to learn how to put them right. Let me do a couple of things that could have happened. Number one, we're going to capitalize the P instead of having a lowercase p. So maybe you are thinking about English and starting your sentences with a capital letter. Not required now. Okay. Notice that the print has gone black instead of orange. That is a big clue. So if I run my program, what happens is I get an error message. And the error messages are quite strange at the moment. It says syntax error. Syntax is computer language for typing. So you've made a typing mistake. There's an error in your program, invalid typing. In other words, you haven't typed something right. And we know what that was because we capitalized the P. Now, the computer tries to help you saying, the error was on this line somewhere. Now, remember, we got, well, when I say remember, we haven't done it yet, but we could have lots of lines of code, which we normally will have. It doesn't know exactly where the error was, but it's had a guess, and it said it's on this line. Okay. The colour is really, really important. It's trying to help you know where you've made a mistake. Okay, so let's put that P back to a lowercase p. Notice it goes straight back to orange. And if I run the program now, we wouldn't get the error message, we'd just get the actual result. So that's fine. What happens if I use a lowercase p here? Is that important? Let's run the program and see what happens. No, it worked, but we've got a lowercase p here. In fact, it doesn't really matter whether you're using lower or uppercase, or whether you're using symbols or anything inside these quote marks. These quote marks are really, really important, and they're what turns the inside of it green, and it says whatever is between these, print that out to the screen. So if I run this program now, it's going to do exactly that. It's going to say, please, 4 hash symbols, enter your password. So let me save that, and you'll see that that works. So it doesn't matter what you type in the green, it will always work. However, let's get that back to normal. If your error was the fact that you may have missed one of these off, notice it's still green. So we've got a start one there, then we've got please enter your password, and I try and run that. Again, I get a typing mistake, syntax error. There is an error in your program. The end of the line was found while scanning the string literal. Quite a mouthful there. What it's really saying, let me click OK. The end of the line was found while looking at this, so it read that, found that it was a quote mark, and then a P, and then an L, and an E, and so on, and it got all the way to the end of the line and it didn't find another quote mark, and that's why that's highlighted in red, because there was no quote mark there. So that's what it meant, scanning to the end of the line. There's the end of the line, while scanning the string literal. This is called a string. In reality, we call it a string literal. Anything between quote marks is called a string literal. So that is an error. If we'd have made the mistake at the other end, in other words, missed off the first quote mark, and try to run that, then we get exactly the same, well, not exactly the same error message. We get there is an error in your program, invalid typing, invalid syntax. Okay, so it won't run the program, and it's tried to give me where the error has occurred. Okay, we know because we made that mistake. But what I want you to look at is that all of this is now in black. It's not in green. Okay, so if I put the string back together using the quote, it's all in green. That's happy. If I miss out the first quote, it's all in black. That's not good. If I miss out the end quote, it's still in green, but we get a different error message. If I miss out both quotes, then it's all black and it just will not run. So this will say that I've got a typing mistake. There we go. So one last thing, talking about colour. Let's imagine that we've typed it correctly. And I save it without the extension. I want you to check out the next video to see what happens if I save it incorrectly rather than write an incorrect program.